All right, let's have a quick overview. My thoughts on the state of play that we had just a day ago or so. I'm going to give two scores. One is based on me, the things that appeal to me, and who I am as a gamer. The other one is a more of a global overview because I understand that in the showcase, not every single game is going to appeal to me. To be honest, if in any showcase, two or three games strongly resonate with me, that is enough for me to give already a 7 as a base and probably higher than that. Aside from that, I'm looking for general showcase things, like don't have a lot of dev stalking. And if you're going to have the dev stalking, have the devs talking after the reveal of the game. Let me like the game first, and then I'll give you a few minutes of my time to listen to whatever you have to say, so on and so forth. So overall, for me personally, this showcase was a 4 out of 10. Out of the games that were there, some games that stood out for me were, of course, Pragmata. Romeo is a Dead Man. And Ken also stood out to me because he has a demo, and I've been playing a little bit of that demo, and it looks interesting at the moment. It's a little bit like Death Stranding in that the navigation that you are taking is the gameplay, right? But aside from that, there were not too many games that really like blew it up to me. Now, on a global level, I'm going to give this showcase an 8 out of 10. And the way that I will subtitle this showcase is From Japan with Love. Because this showcase was definitely a showcase that featured a lot of great games from Eastern developers. And, that's amazing to see. I really like it. For example, the headliner game, the one at the end, Marvel Token Fighting Souls. I'm not a fighting gamer. I appreciate it. I understand the significance of it. I can see the polish in it and the art style in it, and that is fantastic. But I don't play fighting games. So that game was not for me personally going to get it over the mark. But for a lot of people who, I've been looking at people's reaction in the fighting game community, and man, you just love to see it for them. Like it fills you with happiness. I feel like this game for them might be, potentially as big as something like a Clear Obscure or an Intergalactic was for me. So it's good to see that fighting base being served by PlayStation directly. Now, I made this video, and if it was only going to be about my score and the global score, then it would be it. But I want to talk a little bit about the discourse around this game because this state of play to me exposes the true hypocrisy that on this channel we have been pointing out in the online gaming conversations from the gaming populace. This showcase should be, right, everything that these people ask for. These people have said for the longest time that PlayStation lost the Eastern side or they lost the Japan side or they need to go back and to Japanese developers. Here we are. Some of the strongest showcases of Japanese talent we've ever seen in this generation. Here we are. They say that they want smaller, not necessarily AAA with massive budgets, quirky experiences that are trying something new. You have games like Ties of Tomorrow. You have games like Romeo is a Dead Man. All of these games that are each trying to do something a little bit new, something a little bit different. Things are sold with the sea. Quirky games. Things are baby steps. Quirky games, right? All of these games that are trying, things that can. Quirky game, again smaller experience that is giving something way different from what a AAA game could ever give you. Here you are, you've got that in so many different formats. It's crazy. People say, oh, PlayStation needs to go back into the old IP and bring forward, classic games and games that had soul from back in the day, like in the 1990s and the 80s and the 2000s. There's a Final Fantasy collection, Final Fantasy Tactics collection that they gave. Oh, PlayStation need more family friendly games. Oh, there's Everybody's Golf. Oh, PlayStation, like everything that these people say that they want PlayStation to do, besides just having a lot of first party output from the Western studios, it was there. It was 100% there. And yet, the reaction from the Twitter community, because these are all fake gamers, is like, oh, this show was mid, or this show was trash, or this show was garbage. Bro, this show answers everything that you guys always complain about. Oh, the triple industry feels samey. Oh, look at that, loss of diversity. Oh, PlayStation no longer partners with studios. Look at that, lots of partnership, lots of moments where you know that PlayStation is either part of the marketing or they've got exclusivity or they were just there to, foster those relationships, those developers, so that even if the game comes out as a multiplat, PlayStation had a good influence on bringing the game to life. No. It's like, oh, people want the PlayStation to give day and date games on PlayStation Plus. You got day and date games on PlayStation Plus. People wanted multiplayer games. You got a day and date multiplayer game in FBC Outbreak. Like, at the end of the day, you know what these all fall back to after you prove all of these things? Like Hirogami is a paper folding game. Bro, like, come on. This is like back to like tearaway. And people keep saying, like, oh, PlayStation doesn't do quirky games anymore. Well, there's Hirogami. You can play that. It's from a Japanese developer or an Eastern developer. You can love it just as much as you love the Tearaway or anything else that came from PlayStation Studios. But they don't want it because they say, "Oh, that's not PlayStation." Really, really. So it's all about. So PlayStation has to do what Microsoft did. They just have to buy up everybody. No, that is not good for the industry. It is good that, for example, Arc Systems Works, after they finished their collaboration with PlayStation on Marvel, the Marvel fighting game, they can go have a collaboration with Xbox and maybe DC. They can go shop around their talents and get paid what they think they can earn, what they are worthy of earning, making partnerships or making their own games, pursuing their creativity. That's a good thing. If there is a game like Luminous and that is created by somebody else. Oh, look at that. They can go after that game and they can again be creative. If you are always bought by a giant conglomerate, that worry there is that you are going to eventually be pigeonholed into one type of game. So many people lamented the fact that, oh, Marvel has taken on this whole that Insomniac has taken on this whole Marvel mantle, and yet they want everybody else to be bought up by PlayStation or Xbox or Nintendo. No, it is good to have free agents in the community, agents that can participate, whether that's in Game Pass or in PlayStation Plus or exclusivity with one platform versus another. All of these things are wonderful and it shows a healthy industry. On top of that, there's even new hardware. The new hardware Project Defiant that is coming up. I was doing some research. Again, I don't do any fighting game at all. So I was doing some research into the Project Defiant, looking at other arcade sticks and kind of what makes them, a thing that will be compelling for those people. And I don't know enough to speak definitively on it, but it looks like from the conversation, it looks like they have gone to people who are in these areas, who are giving them valuable feedback. So for example, the stick, it can be used wirelessly, and it uses PlayStation Link, which actually will bring up an issue for me. It can be used wirelessly, but it can also be used wired. It has different restrictor gates, which allows you to have like your actual stick has different blockades or block different shapes because you can have an octagon, you can have a circle, or you can have a square. And I don't know much else besides that because I haven't revealed too much information. But if they have brought it forward to the general public and they're saying that it might be coming in 2026, but they've revealed the design, I think part of that is simply that they can actually send it out into the world, get valuable feedback from the people in those communities, and make it a really great, product that will actually come out. So I hope that it matches the quality of the DualSense Edge. And I mean, it looks fantastic. It definitely looks like it belongs in this generation. So yeah, and it's also for PC, which is good because it means that, for example, if a PlayStation gamer buys it and then decides to play another game on PC, it is not relegated to being useless. Also good for longevity. Maybe, or for whatever reason, if it stopped being compatible with the PlayStation 7 or the PlayStation 8, right? Because I imagine it'll be compatible with the PlayStation 6 at the very least. It could still work on PC. So you're not buying a piece of hardware that will forever be locked down. So for example, for me, I still have like some DualShock 4s around, right? And the good thing about the DualShock 4 is that even though I no longer use the PlayStation 4 and it doesn't work on the PlayStation 5, I don't think, I can still use it for PC. So it's good that the hardware, the money that you're putting in will have some kind of longevity beyond the current console cycle. So that's excellent. Now, the thing about PlayStation Link, listen, I have been extremely disappointed with the rollout of PlayStation Link. They first brought it out on the portal, right? And on the portal, it is built in, right? As in, you don't need a dongle to use PlayStation Link with the portal. And I said, If you're going to make a new wireless protocol, not only should your PlayStation devices come with it built in, but your Sony TVs need to come with it built in. Your Sony soundbars need to come with it built in. But so far, it's been very disappointing as a rollout. For example, the PlayStation 5 Pro, even though it came after the Portal, it doesn't have PlayStation Link built in. You still need to use a dongle. And that is just straight up dog shit. Like, why isn't it built into all of your products going forward? Your headphones, and I mean customer, consumer level headphones going forward, should have PlayStation Link built in. So that when I get a PlayStation 6, I can choose like any Sony headphone from the last 10 years by the time that the PlayStation 6 is released. And I will have good like native support for PlayStation Link. If you're going to come up with a brand new wireless protocol, which is something that is supposed to replace the Bluetooth slash wireless Wi-Fi network protocols that more people are used to, you need to push it. And in fact, you need to make it open source so that other manufacturers, can add that protocol for free or for little cost. And you can just create an actual network of devices that can all work around this protocol. But even in the PlayStation Pro, it wasn't there. So if you buy, for example, whether that's the wireless headsets that have the link in, or you buy this new controller that will use PlayStation Link to create the wireless connection, you're still going to need to plug a dongle into your console. Is it the end of the world? No, but it just speaks to a level of fragmentation that I've always found troublesome with Sony. Like the next Sony cameras should have PlayStation Link built in. If it is that good a protocol, could we not use it to stream like games, also photos or movies from my camera to my TV? Because if I buy the newest models, they both will now come with Link built in. So I always thought the naming was bad because it ties it to PlayStation devices exclusively. I've always thought the rollout was bad because Sony devices that are not PlayStation branded uh, do not have it. And even the Sony devices that are PlayStation branded, like the PlayStation 5 Pro, doesn't use it. Take a look at the new controllers. New controllers, for example, that you buy, like the Dual Senses, they could have created a DualSense Link Edition to be like, okay, we were using this Bluetooth protocol before, but now we've created PlayStation Link. So if you have a PlayStation 5 Pro, your new controllers going forward will be able to use the Link protocol. Your old controllers can still work with Bluetooth, but just to kind of like let it permeate into the market. I'm not saying that they should remove the Bluetooth compatibility from the newest controllers, of course, but both standards should be accessible. And if you really care about the minimal level of latency and PlayStation Link guarantees that better than Bluetooth, then it should give you the option to use the link instead. Anyways, I just think that one piece of the rollout, I always thought that was a weakness of PlayStation 5's hardware strategy this generation. But going back to the show, like I said, globally, I think it's an 8 out of 10 show. I liked the presentation. I liked the fact that we didn't spend too much time with developers. The longest we spent with developers was at the end of the Marvel Token Fighting Souls reveal, and that felt appropriate because everybody was like, whoa, what the hell is going on? How did this happen? What's happening? Is it exclusive? You know? Also, as a person that has been saying for the longest, right, the general of the multiplayer setup at PlayStation, I have to tell you, I told you so. I told you that we were going to come with something good, okay? Because I told you, marathon, fair games, that's not it. That's not it. I want you to know, even though I have no proof of it, okay? I'm going to put my eggs in this basket. Marvel Token Fighting Souls is going to be the next Helldivers 2 situation. It's going to be the next big, successful live service game from Sony, and people are going to love it and are going to enjoy it. And I'm just going to sit back and be like, damn, we got one more. There we go. And we're going to build up these wins until one day, somewhere in the PlayStation 6 generation, people will have as many great, or at least half as many, right? At least half as many great multiplayer live service proposals. Maybe it doesn't have to be live service, but you know what I mean. There's as many great multiplayer games from Sony, right? Whether that's in partnership or directly from the studios to look forward to as they would have single player games, because I'm telling you, Sony needs to get great at multiplayer as well. And this is the direction we want to see them go. Something unique, something interesting, something with a great, fantastic art style, something that serves a community, even though the fighting game community, I think, is not underserved, but still, you know, put your hat in the ring there and go ahead and do that. And that's fantastic. Again, my biggest thing though is Sony is not doing enough for PvE. PvP is great, okay? Helldive is true, PvE, fantastic. This token fighting souls, PvP, and I guess technically PvE as well, since you can fight the computer, but still PvP primarily, fantastic. But there's still plenty of PvE experiences that they are not taking care of, that they are not seeing the potential in, and they definitely should. They definitely should see the potential in more PvE games. Okay, so that's it. I think that this state of play definitely felt like a love letter from Japan, and I'm so grateful that so many gamers are going to get their satisfaction from that, their love from that, their engagement, that they're just going to love it. I, for one, have picked out 2 or 3 games that are interesting to me, but I'm not starved for games. Okay, I don't need more. I don't need more games right now in my backlog, and I know that I'm going to get the Ghost of Yote reveal. I know I'm going to get the Death Stranding 2 reveal. So my slate for 2025 is already great. It's already great. The only game that I want to see even more of is Intergalactic, because I've always wanted, sci-fi, games set in space from PlayStation Studios, and Intergalactic is the thing that's going to tick that box. Listen, another game that I was begging for and I was like, whoa, where is this game? Was Pragmata. Also got Pragmata. Thank you, Capcom. But here's the thing about Pragmata. Okay? Can we just be honest just for a second? I don't know why I believed it was going to be a PlayStation 5 console exclusive at the least. I thought it'd be PlayStation 5 and PC on the same day. But it's also releasing multi-platform. It's also releasing on the Xbox. And here's my thing about releasing on the Xbox. I don't mind the game releasing on the Xbox. It's not about the platform. For me, it's about the Series S. Because for me, I'm like, damn, now this game had to be made to run on the Series S. That's game systems you didn't implement. I'm sorry. Listen, very few games that are from third party, that are multiplied everywhere, are going to take the advantage of the speed of the SSD. By the way, I watched the Witcher 4 technical demonstration. Please understand that was a technical demo. That wasn't gameplay. It was a bit like when we had the technical demo 5 years ago. It was like Lumen in in the land of nanites or something like that. That Epic came out with, or when we had the what is it, the Matrix demo. All of those things, they look beautiful. They are fantastic, but they're more for developers. This is not for us. So I'm watching the Witcher 4 demo, and they're talking about how they can stream in assets and how they can move faster through the world and how there's no popping. And I'm watching this camera pan around and it's slow as molasses still. I was like, okay, maybe it's like 1.2 times faster than what we had like back in the PlayStation 4 generation, because all of the consoles have SSDs in it. But where is the speed of the, where is that speed, that visceral feeling of speed that I felt in Spider-Man 2? When Sandman at the beginning just tosses you halfway across the city and you just zooming past these buildings, I was like, finally, I can see this SSD being pushed, being put to use. When do you see a game like Pragmata and it is going to be on the Xbox Series S, it's not going to use that speed. It's not going to. It will be great if there's like little popping and everything. Again, with The Witcher 4, it will be great if there's like no popping. And I would really love that. That's fantastic. That is half a step forward. But man, if the Xbox had matched the speed of the PlayStation 5's SSD, oh my goodness, we will be so much further forward. So, in any case, that was disappointing. It was disappointing to see that Pragmata was going to release even on the Series S, because I know that now that's your base, and everything else, I will get a slightly more polished experience on PlayStation, but it is what it is. So, in any case, like I said, 8 out of 10 sure. I enjoyed it. I think you should have enjoyed it too. And yeah, we'll talk later.